Making multiple five figures per month almost ruined my life. But before I exactly tell you why, I first need to explain two, three things to you and also explain how I got there in order for you to totally understand like why it is the way it is. And this is a completely raw video. I'll most probably only edit it very slightly or little to no edits. And it's just me talking to the camera because you've most probably seen all of these videos saying, yeah, raw reality of making $1 million per month or 500K per month or anything like that. But I just feel like for my audience, it's just much more relatable me talking about how it is making multiple five figures per month every month now. So in order for you to understand how I even got here, I want to start basically giving a rough overview of my journey again, which is 4.5 years ago, while still going to high school or finishing up high school, I started my marketing agency and I was serving restaurants and hotels. It was a nice little side business until COVID hit. I lost all of my clients because the whole hospitality sector pretty much worldwide got shut down. And then what I did was I was transitioning, working with plastic surgeons and med spas in Germany mainly, or in the German speaking market. I hit this first milestone, and wow, the agency is growing, you're signing clients, you're actually making money, you're building something sustainable. And what happens afterwards was me building my events company, which kind of happened randomly after joining a few online communities, meeting many people, hosting many little events, dinners, all of that. This then evolved into me building Exiles, building my own events company, where I then suddenly started traveling the world, started meeting all of these other crazily successful online entrepreneurs, which is quite unusual. So not everyone who's now making 10K, 20K, 30K per month had the lifestyle I had the past year, just because I was able to bring all of these great guys together, organize everything, and therefore have the benefit and the advantages of being able to live that lifestyle as well, even though I could not necessarily afford that lifestyle. So last year, if I'm being honest, I lived a 6 to 7 figures per month lifestyle without making 6 to 7 figures. With my events, obviously I made my profits as well. There I also made like 5 figures in 1 month per event or something like that, but it wasn't really like on a consistent basis because I didn't host an event monthly. I just hosted events from time to time, or like every 2 months on average now when I look back. And yeah, it was a great feeling. There was also a lot of work attached to it, and I was kind of living this dream lifestyle people just see on my Instagram now, see, wow man, you've traveled the world, you've been here, you've been there, you've been all of that. And I was like, yeah, that's true, but it was also a very tricky situation, just because again I was able to live that lifestyle because I was leveraging other people basically without being able to afford this lifestyle. And this is a very dangerous position to be in, because what majority of people do is they work a lot, they work on their business in order to be able to afford this lifestyle, to live in a crazy villa, to travel, to do whatever they want wherever they want. And I had this. I really like got the benefits of enjoying all of that, but I didn't have to pay for this. In fact, I got paid for this. And now staying motivated, really wanting to build something else is very hard now, because you kind of experienced everything. You see that it's great. Yeah, it is cool, but it's not, wow, my life changes completely. I mean, a bed is a bed in the end. Food is food in the end. So last year, or like the past 2 years, I've kind of seen this amazing lifestyle. And obviously there's still levels, of course, there's always different levels, but I already got to experience what many people most probably even will never experience without me having had to build like a 6 7 figures per month company in order to be able to afford that. And what I did afterwards was like end of last year, beginning of this year, was saying, hey, but I want this now. Like, I don't want to rely on other people's money. I don't want to rely on having to host events and stuff in order to do all of these things. I want to build my own sustainable company for the future that really does not require me to travel or to host people, to host an event in order to make a lot of money. So what I then did, was I started Helix. I officially launched in January, and since then we've hit 5 figure to multiple 5 figure months consistently. It's now like end of March, and it feels good, obviously, right? Like, I'm having worked for 4 years straight in order to be able to get to this point. Obviously, many people get here much faster, but even more people don't get here at all. So I'm not saying it's not good, it is very good. But what I want to say is that it is a very tricky situation, especially if you're at this like between, let's say, 10 to 30K per month ratio, because you're being told that you should always just reinvest your money, or the best thing you can do is reinvest your money into the business, and that's what I've been doing, honestly. It's like the past 4 years, whenever I've made, let's say, 10K, for example, boom, the next day 9K of these 10K were gone, investing into this next mentorship, this next program, this next, let's say, networking opportunity and whatever. And what happens with me, and I've talked to a few friends the past few days who are at this stage as well right now, is that, yeah, you make a lot of money, because if you look at it objectively, 20, 30K is still a lot of money to 99% of the people in the world out there, but you don't get to keep this money, because you have to reinvest. You have to reinvest into the company, you have to reinvest in yourself as a person, you have to grow, you have to reinvest into the network, or like you have to do so many different things, or you're being told that you have to do so many different things with that money, that even though you make a lot of money, you don't really get to keep a lot of this money, because you're just being told you have to spend it. And obviously you have to spend the money in order to grow the business even further and further. So on paper, all of this looks great. Yeah, last year, let's say I made 200K revenue or 300K revenue. But then the thing is, okay, where is that money? It is in the business again. And it's kind of this upward spiral of we're spending more money in order to grow the business, but we grow the business and then we reinvest even more money and we invest even more money. And now the thing is, even beginning of this year in January, it's like I reinvested 15K back into the business or even more, and I still am. And I'm like, cool, I'm making all of this money, but I don't really now honestly get to experience all of this money. Like I just want to reinvest it, grow the business. And I know, like, in fact, that many people, many friends that I have that are at the same stage are the same. It's like, it is funny that I say this and people won't believe me, especially guys who are not there yet, for example, is that even though I make 20, 30K in revenue, for example, in my personal bank, I still almost have no money. Like every time when we go somewhere where I can't pay with the business card, I have to transfer money from the business bank account to the personal bank account in order to be able to pay for shit. And this is pretty normal. Like I had one friend and he said, like, for the past 2 years, he was making 50, 60, 70K per month, but 95% of the money he made, boom, went back into the business or fueled another business that he started. And it's this super weird situation that can honestly break you psychologically as well, of, yeah, you make all of this money, but where do you see it? You don't see it, which is kind of this, I wouldn't call it rat race, but until you really break out, until you decide, okay, bro, I'm going to keep some money now, like 50% of what comes in or 80%, I just stack for a few months on my bank account just to have this cushion. Because even though, again, example of many friends that I have that are at the same stage, is like, can't pay for shit because all the money is reinvested all the time. And this is kind of like a very, very tricky situation to be in, because you kind of have to grow so much that you can still be able to reinvest 30, 40K into the business, but it doesn't matter because now you make 100, 200K, and this is honestly the next step where I want to be at as well. And this is kind of the first thing, which is such a weird place to be in, because again, you make this money, but where is it? It's in here, like it's in the businesses again, it's in the office, it's in the laptop, it's in different service providers and stuff, and it's, yeah, again, very weird. This is the first thing. The second thing is, which I've struggled with a lot recently, and that other people are struggling as well a lot recently, but they don't even know, is that honestly, there's so many different influences nowadays, or like influencers, that you don't really know what to do. Like you have Andrew Tate, you have Iman Gadzhi, you have Luke Belmar, for example. Like you have countless different people who all tell you different things. Oh, this is how you should go about business. This is how you should go about business. This is how you should go about treating relationships with female while growing a business. This is how you should spend your money. And then you kind of get all of these different pieces of advice from different people on the same topic. And now it's this overload of information. You don't know exactly, am I doing the right thing currently? Am I actually on the right path? Because he says you should do this, he says you should do this, and he says you should do this. Now I'm right now, let's just take the whole female world as an example. There's people or friends who say, hey, like, as long as you're in this kind of scaling phase right now, you should definitely just focus on yourself, no women, no distraction, nothing. On the other side, people say, hey, you should find a girl, like one girl, a good girl by your side is better than 100 hoes or whatever. Like find this one girl that pushes you, that pushes you, and then kind of rock with her, and she helps you scale the business basically. other people say, hey, while you're young, you should try to get as much experience as possible, if you know what I mean. Sleep with as many girls as possible, because then in a few years down the road, when you have your wife, you don't exactly need that anymore. Like, you don't really crave sleeping around a lot because you already had that while you're at that stage. And this is completely different things. Or like this whole question of being faithful, not being faithful, like what Andrew Tate talked about a lot and stuff. And there's all of these different influences on this, let's say, like relationship world topic, like, okay, what should I do? And the past months, I followed the approach of, it's just myself, no girl in my life, nothing. I ended everything that I had going on basically, and just tried to focus on myself and focusing on myself. But still now, for example, you feel like, hey, we're men, like we're all still humans, we're social beings. You kind of want to be surrounded by females, for example. Like, you want to have that feminine energy in your life. And then again, it's like, is it the right point now? Is it not the right point? I did not know what to do. And it's not just with relationships, it's the same with business, for example. It's the same with family. It's the same with old friends. And there's so many different topics while you're still figuring business out, because yeah, you make multiple 5 figures per month now, but this does not mean that you have business figured out at all. No, like, you just made like this first few steps, you did them right, perfect, but now it's so much more that is coming that you still need to figure out, like hiring a team, like doing this, like doing that. And your private life, in addition to that, can be very overwhelming, like super overwhelming, especially with some other, let's say, family things that come into the mix as well. It's like you have to juggle between all of these different things, and it's crazy hard. And the next thing then is also comparison, which is the next, like, if not even the biggest thing. And comparison is the thief of all joy. And last Friday, like a week and a half ago, I talked to a friend that I haven't talked to in months, just because he didn't reply to me at all. I was very worried about what's going on with him, because that's not usual for him. And then he told me, hey man, it's like we had an hour and a half phone call, and then we were just talking about him saying, hey brother, it's like I've been in a very bad mental state the past 2 months. I've done this trip now. I went to this country, spent a great time with many amazing people, really done a lot of inner work. Then he said, honestly, that's what he told me, is like, man, I look at you, I look at all of these other people, I see you're grinding it out every single day, I see your amazing life, I see you're making so much money, and yeah, I honestly feel shit. And this guy makes 10-20k per month as well, and he's like, I feel shit because you guys, or these other guys, are making so much more, and their lives look so much better on Instagram. And I'm like, bro, this is so stupid, man. It's like, you make 20k per month, which is more than, again, 99% of people on earth, which is an amazing achievement, which so many guys never will achieve in their lives, like, at all. And you're out here, feeling shit because there's people who make more than you. On the other side, there's people who make less than you as well. And he kind of had the same. It's like, you then try to compensate this with, for example, girls in your life, with other things in your life, with maybe too much partying and stuff, whereas you then, again, don't know what to do. And what happened was that beginning of this month, it is end of March now, it's March 26th, like, I had a lot of tension built up in me, because all of these different things I mentioned so far, it's like, we had an issue in the business, which was a sales issue. Like, we were getting many leads in, but sales just didn't go through. I know why now. Thing number one. Then this whole, like, relationships, yes, no, whatever question. Thing number two, like, what do you do there? Then obviously a lot of added stress with private life, with other things that are coming up as well, bills that need to be paid, all of that stuff, like team members, talking to them, not being happy with my performance, like with the team's performance, what I have to offer to them, for example. And it's like all of these different things, and all of this pressure inside of you just builds up as well, because again, it's not just business that you have in your life, that's countless other things you have in your life as well. And then what happened was that I was just having this tension building up in me. And when he called me, I told him, hey bro, it's like, you're kind of jealous of me and my life. And I'm like, dude, I feel like shit right now, because business is kind of going well, but still there's these few issues that I just can't figure out. I'm not happy with my performance. I'm this, I'm that. Like, I'm looking at you, for example, seeing you're here, you're there, like you're going to the gym every day. It's like, fuck man, I'm jealous of you. And I feel like so many guys, I wouldn't say are jealous of each other, but are kind of just seeing what's going on with the other people on Instagram or wherever, and just aspire to be like them as well, or have their lifestyle, because everything looks so perfect, but no one talks about their losses. Whereas what makes us stronger is talking about our losses, because when I tell him, hey man, I honestly I honestly have this issue which is holding me back from scaling the business, which is fucking bothering me, which I didn't even know about. And just by me talking to him about this, talking to him about like this whole relationship situation, talking with him about all of these different things, I felt like I could remove so much pressure, like all of this negative energy that was built up inside of myself just went out. I felt so good afterwards. And then what happened was the next week I signed for four new people for Helix, which is again like insane. It was the best week of my life in terms of revenue regarding that. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after I had this deep, tough conversation where I just let go of all of my negative energy inside of me, the next week, yeah, suddenly four closes come in completely randomly, right? And this is the next thing. It's like just us comparing each other to other people, because as I said a bit earlier in this video is that, yeah, I'm making this money right now, and there's people who got here like much earlier, like within the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months of online business, for example. And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm in this game for like 4 years now. And I know I will scale very quickly, very soon here, just because I have all the tools in my hand, but I still can't really get to enjoy it as much as other people can. Just because I feel like it's this weird situation to be in right now, because you still, as I said at the start, you reinvest all the time, you don't really get to see too much of that money, you kind of still don't know exactly what to do or what the right thing is, just because honestly life experience is also lacking as well. It's like, I'm 21 years old. Majority of my friends are like around that age as well. It's like we're 21, 22, 23, even younger as well. And it's like, what do we have experienced? Not much. We're just in front of the laptop and traveling the world. Other than that, it's like, yeah, life experience that's just missing that we need to figure out as well. And to kind of drive this whole point home after saying, okay, we're constantly comparing ourselves, like all of the money that is being made is reinvested. So even though we make that much money, we don't even get to keep it or see a lot of it at all. And you getting like all of these different influences is like this very weird place. But obviously life is beautiful, and what helped me get out of these like very hard situations is my friends. For example, I don't know if that like my friend, if he didn't call me like last Friday, I don't think the past week and a half would have been so good. Would have been my record week, for example, and now like most probably my record month as well. I don't think this would have happened, because in the end, all about is who you're surrounded by, who you're surrounded with. And if you don't have the right people around you, I cannot imagine how sad some guys' life must be. I had an amazing call with someone yesterday who just joined Helix, and last year he made $12 million in revenue. $12 million in revenue. And he said, hey man, it's like, yeah, the money is great, but I'm fucking lonely, bro. Like, I don't have anyone around me. I want to meet the right guys, and he knows he can meet them in Helix, and therefore it's like money was not a thing at all for him. He just wanted to be able to connect with like-minded people now. And I know why, I understand why, and I find it crazy how long he could keep going without prioritizing this. But I'm glad that I prioritized this so much earlier, because I know without the friends on my side, like without the people who helped me overcome like my hardest shit basically, I don't know if I would be here today. I don't think I would have given up, but I would have still been, I don't know, below this 10K per month mark, trying to make shit work, whatever. But I'm very glad that I'm not there. And obviously, don't get me wrong, like making money is still great. I obviously still enjoy having nice dinners, because that's what I'm having as well from time to time. Like, you can always buy the newest phone, you can always like upgrade your living, you can fly here and there, you can do all of this, but it's not always as great as it seems or as cool as it sounds, making 20-30K per month. Because again, if you are smart, like you reinvested into the business in order to grow it, but you should be as smart as well to keep some of it and kind of treat yourself as well from time to time. And yeah, this was kind of it with this video. I went very long. It's like around 20 minutes right now. If you're not a subscriber of the channel yet, please subscribe and like this video. And if you want to learn how to build a powerful network like this, I recorded a YouTube video before this one, which exactly shows how to build a network, the #1 hack that wealthy people use in order to build a network. So you can move forward and watch this one as well. And I see you in the next video.